Good morning and a very warm welcome to each one of you. It gives me immense pleasure to open the fourth edition of the Media Conclave here at Sister Nivedita University. And I, Tulika Chatterjee, will be taking you on our journey in this ship to the world of knowledge and freedom. This conclave has, over the years, become the flagship event of our Department of Mass Communication and Journalism. A space where ideas meet voices, where questions meet answers, and where students, scholars, practitioners come together to reflect on the role of media in shaping our world. This year, our theme is both urgent and evocative, representing the unseen, India at the margins and media. It urges us to turn our gaze towards the silences, the edges, the stories that often slip through the cracks of mainstream narratives. It asks us how we as journalists, filmmakers, communicators, and citizens can bring visibility, dignity, and depth to those lives and landscapes that remain hidden in plain sight. And what makes it even more special is that this is not just a single day of reflection. This is a 3-day conclave, 3 days of conversations, workshops, panels, discussions, and cultural exchanges that promise to open our minds, stir our hearts, and sharpen our understanding of media's role in shaping a more inclusive India. Today, as we begin this journey of conversations, insights, and reflections, let us carry with us the spirit of inquiry, compassion, and courage that defines the very essence of this conclave. Once again, on behalf of this department, I welcome you all to this inspiring day of what I call media beyond the mainstream. We will initiate our event with a cultural performance by Mr. Joydeep Mukherjee, a Sharod player of eminence and a Shongit Natok Academy awardee, working on revival and restoration of rare and extinct instruments. He will present a short recital in Sharod, which has been patented by the Government of India a few months back. He is also an adjunct faculty of JMC department. He will be accompanied by Faculty Performing Arts, Mr. Pinaki Chakraborty. The stage is all yours, sir. We can start the performance. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Before I start, I want to showcase you this particular instrument. It is sarod, a very, very popular instrument nowadays. But this particular model, it is based on the traditional 6 historical models of sarod of the 18th and 19th centuries. So it carries the imprints of 6 traditional models of sarod of Murad Ali Khan in 1840s, Abdullah Khan from 1860s, Muhammad Amir Khan of 1900, Radhika Mohan Maitra of 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and Padma Bhushan Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta of 1970s. So when I got this patent, I was having a chat with Minal, and at that point of time I received it and then I showed heard the certificate, that immediately I just got it. It was in the month of March, month of May. So one thing is which I like to highlight here, that nowadays the traditional sarod is being played in the pitch of C or C sharp, but it is tuned in scale A, which is a very, very unconventional sarod nowadays. So starting my recital for a few minutes. Thank you very much.
What a beautiful, beautiful, mesmerizing performance, sir. Beautiful. Classic how music can elevate any experience. How many hours of practice was it?
This particular composition was being practiced by 5 years.
5 years. Can I
And
please have a round of applause for this? 5 years of
this is a
absolute.
composition which was made by my Guruji, and he has given to me, and it was a 5 hours to present it for 5 minutes.
Beautiful.
And,
Beautiful.
And average of 6 to 7 hours of practice a day, apart from the concerts. I think the same is applicable for Pinaki also.
Yes. Yes. The Jugalbandi was seen in the eyes. You had the connect. Beautiful. Thank you so much for elevating our experience and taking us to a level where we know that we are indeed in a special occasion and an auspicious one. We are waiting for Devi Pokko to also begin. So we are officially stepping into that occasion right now. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Now, moving ahead, we are privileged to be guided by Professor Dr. Shankhu Bose, the Vice Chancellor of Sister Nivedita University, an academician of great repute and a leader with a forward-looking vision. Dr. Bose has been instrumental in shaping the university's journey of growth and excellence. His commitment to fostering innovation, interdisciplinary learning, and global standards in education has set the tone for SNU's dynamic academic environment. With his encouragement, the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism has been able to pursue bold ideas, nurture creativity, and create platforms like the Media Conclave, which reflect both intellectual rigor and social responsibility. Sir, I would like to invite you on stage so that you can share a few kind words with us. Thank you, sir.
কি নিয়ে নাও নাহলে তোমার স্ক্রিপ্টেড পড়ে দেবো হয়তো Take your script. Is the landsliding fast? So let's do it. No? Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
As we begin this auspicious occasion, it is time to uphold a tradition that signifies wisdom, knowledge, and the triumph of light over darkness. The lighting of the ceremonial lamp marks the formal inauguration of the fourth Media Conclave. I would now like to invite our esteemed dignitaries to kindly come forward and join in lighting the lamp of knowledge and inspiration, symbolizing the spirit with which the conclave has been envisioned. So, if we could just start with the lighting of the lamp and the diya. It's a digital lamp, yes. We are going eco-friendly. As we light the lamp, Astoma Sadgamaya, Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. The sacred verse is found in the Upanishad, a foundation text of Vedic philosophy of Hindu mythology. Thank you. Ma'am, if you could just stand, everybody, sir, I'm so sorry. We are going to unveil our third book for Media Conclave right now. It is our pride to announce that we are unveiling our third book for Media Conclave. If we could please have a round of applause for all the hard work which goes around for making this happen. The scholars, the teachers, the students, the guides, everybody, the judges. And Meenal ma'am, with your motivation, we've been able to achieve what we find, we've already found it as dream. What we conceived as a dream is in our hands right now. 3 consecutive years of sheer hard work and dedication. Round of applause, everyone. Where is the energy? This is our hard work. Department of Mass Communication and Journalism. The book looks lovely. Huh. One straight line would be very nice for everybody to take a professional picture. Thank you. Thank you so much. VC sir, we are waiting for your kind words and guidance.
That's fine. No, that's okay. No worries. So can we? Uh, Good morning. Students, this is just the beginning of the morning, so you have to reciprocate the good morning. Okay. So good morning, and my distinguished guest, esteemed colleague, students, friends, other faculty members. It is both an honor and responsibility to stand before you today at the fourth foundation of Media Conclave. And thanks to the organizer, especially, I have a special corner for Minal, because I've been in the organization for the last 5.5 years. Whatever she does with passion, and when the passion is there, it shows that it has to be good. So that's once again, Minal, thank you, thanks, and keep the SNU, take it to the next height, okay? So when I look at this gathering of sharp young mind, second row onwards, okay? So you are the future. So seasoned academician and media professional, I cannot help but feel that we are not just here for a conference. We are here to set an agenda for India. And that's why majority of the people are present decision maker, present country maker, and group of people who's going to shape up and build the country for tomorrow. So this is an ideal blend. We are here today. And thank you once again to the School of Media and Social Media and Journalism, or Department of Journalism and Mass Communication for the one thing. So our themes, when I heard that our theme, representing the unseen, India at the margin and media, So I think entire India, and not only India, beyond India, it is the contemporary and very trendy and the need of the hour topic. I'm sure the next 3 days there will be lots of discussion, lots of exchange of talks is going to happen. But to me, it's not just an academic topics. It's question, to me, it's a moral. So journalism is nothing but is a moral profession. So it's a moral, it's a political, and it's deeply personal. Because the question is posed simple, whose story do we tell and whose story do we ignore? And this school, I think, along with our journalism profession, majority of the course that we forget to teach our young generation, which called ethics. So like in engineering professions, in our schools, we have started introducing the question ethics of engineering. Most of the management school, accounting practice, I think the journalism courses, I know that you are in a different journalism curriculum board and all, and UGC and the other. The ethics of journalism should be taught at least for 3 to 5 credit course. I think that will set the agenda for tomorrow. Because when I grown up, we've seen the journalism in a different view. But when I'm at the retirement age, and I look at the journalist, it's a different view. The society as a whole has huge expectation out of journalism. And journalism, to me, is the first line of justice. So journalist has a real role, and today that the young generation has real craze, that a lot of people are going for the journalism and all, and which is a good sign. But our job, like the front to row, our job to coach them, mentor them, guide them, so that we can see the better India tomorrow. So for decades, the margins of India have been rich in humanity, creativity, and resilience. Yet they remain poor in representation. The irony is striking. We live in the world's largest democracy, yet millions of voices remain unheard. Media, then, is not just a profession. As I said, it is a front line of justice. Now I'm asking few questions, so because I'm not from this profession, but I'm a curious person as a normal law-abiding citizen. Are we ready for uncomfortable truth? Because the unseen is not unseen by accident. It is designed to be unseen. And that's the role is for the media. It's unseen because of the systematic blind spot, cultural biases, and sometimes the sheer convenience of ignoring. To me, that particularly the people, those who are decision makers, or fortunately they are in the different path, the ignorance or silence is considered to be the equal violence. Because you are silent doesn't mean, since you are not directly impacting, but you are impacting as a whole, the whole system, because people have entrusted you to raise the voice, and you have to raise the voice on the right platform. So silence is not always support and make your moral to be good. True representation will require courage. The courage, today's media business is everything is a TRP. Started from the traditional media to the digital media, how many likes, and that likes is monetized into money. Just think about that. Every opinion is getting purchased. So, the change this algorithm that favor clicks over consents, and to remind the society that silence too is form of violence. So to the students, Media is no longer about reporting the world as it is. It is about reimagining the world as it should be. It's not what incidents happen and you just reproduce back, but the media has beyond that. It's a role how the world it should be. You are the bridge between mainstream and the margins. And remember, history has shown us from Gandhi's young India to today's digital India. When voices unite, margins become mainstream. So we have a long history. We are marginal, but margin become mainstream. That's why we are sitting in an independent free country. So students, you have significant role to play. Just not 4 years, get the degree of media and mass communication, but your role is beyond that. And you have to take the profession with ethics, moral, and courage to ask the right question at the right forum, put the right truth, because you have an extra ability to write, which many of us do not have. At Sister Nivedita University, named after one of the greatest champions of Indian social transformation, we believe education and media must have the same purpose: to include, to empower, and to ignite change. Over the next few days or few years, as you exchange ideas, let us not just critique the media we have, but design the media we need. We know that we can critique all over the life, but let's make a design and what we need. And this is the time has come. That's why this is such a trendy and a contemporary topic that we will be discussing for the next 3 days. A media that is not just free, but it should be fearless. A media that is not just fast, but should be fair. A media that not just chase the headlines, but challenges lives. So let us make this conclave more than an event. I do not want to extend further. There are a lot of speech, a lot of agenda, but let's make it a movement, because the true measure of the gathering will not be in the paper presented or few talks, panel discussions and so, but in the voice amplified that will leave this hall. Thank you. Let's together make the unseen to seen, heard, and remembered. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, sir. That was rather inspiring. We take pride in the presence of Professor Dr. Dhrubajyoti Chattopadhyay, the Pro-Chancellor of Sister Nivedita University, an eminent academic leader and researcher of international standing. Dr. Chattopadhyay embodies a rare blend of scholarship and vision. His long and illustrious journey in higher education has been marked by a commitment to pushing boundaries of learning and fostering an environment where ideas can flourish freely. As Pro-Chancellor, he brings with him not only decades of academic excellence, but also an inspiring belief in nurturing institutions that create impact beyond classrooms. His guidance adds depth and direction to endeavors like today's Media Conclave, making them platforms of true intellectual exchange and social relevance. I would like to invite on stage Sir for a few kind words.
A very good morning to everybody present over here, the participants, the dignitaries, and all the faculty members of the different departments of Sister Nivedita University. Now, this media conclave has got a very important history behind it, that when it has been done the first time, we are thinking about that how we are going to organize it and what are going to be its topics. And then from that particular day, this conclave started to think about how to educate the system itself with the things which are very, very important and which are contemporary. And in that way, what we could find out today in the fourth media conclave, we are all together. And if you look at the success of any particular conclave, it is actually how the people are reacting about it and participating into it. And we could find that in this fourth conclave, we have more than 180 papers, and we have to bring it down to 100 papers, so which shows the interest among the media community that how important they feel for this particular conclave. Now this year, as you could see, the theme of this conclave has very nicely been presented by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, is representing the unseen India at the margins and media. Now if you look at the Indian media, it has grown into one of the largest ecosystems globally, spanning newspapers, television, and digital platforms. However, if we think about the ownership still remains concentrated into the elite, urban, upper caste hands, shaping editorial agendas and the very definition of what courses as news. Now, if we following the Perry Baudely's analysis of fields of power, news production in India reflects the habitus of dominant groups. Marginal communities are typically included only where they fit into frames of victimhood, violence, or actually in this selective inclusion, which is a form of symbolic violence that ascends hierarchies rather than dismantling them. Now, digital platforms then complicate this landscape. They offer marginalized groups tools to bypass traditional gatekeepers, initiatives, and we could find that there are a number of initiatives at that time came out, like the Khabar Lahariya, a rural women-led news collective, which demonstrate how media produced from the margins can disrupt dominant narratives. Now, yet these spaces are not asymmetric, and algorithm themes, online hate campaigns, and unequal access to digital infrastructure replicate the old hierarchies in new forms. The central challenge lies in reimagining the media as a democratic commons rather than an elite echo chamber. Only then can India's margins move from being objects to coverage to subjects of discourse, reshaping the nation's democratic imagination itself. And with this, when we look at this particular conclave, where there are so many participants over here, the presence of the dignitaries, like we have Dr. Mamtarani Agarwal. Madam, your presence itself signifies a lot. She is the Additional Secretary of the Association of Indian Universities. We have with us Professor K.G. Suresh, who is the Director of the Indian Habitat Center, and which is actually very important. Thank you, sir, for coming over here and joining us. Mr. Rishiraj Singh, the Dean, the retired Indian Police Service, IPS officer. Professor Durgesh Tripathi, the Dean, School of Mass Communication. And also, we have with us a very interesting participant. I just interacted with her, Nivedita Mishra, who actually from the year 2010 started to think about the cyber security. Nowadays, we're talking about cyber security, but from that period of time, she's talking about cyber security. And also, we could find out that Sabina, who is present over here, who is for a long time associated with uh, um, different activities where I am also associated with the higher education system itself. And thank you, Shavina, for coming over here. And we also have all the important administrative head of the offices. But the thing which is important today is how we are looking at this conclave, what we are going to take out as a message from this conclave. And there lies the importance of Minal and her team's group, the whole group of Minal, that how you are going to get the message to the communities who are present over here and also percolate it to the media circle as a whole. And I wish you great success for this. And I really want that we are very proud of this particular department, which is organizing for a number of years this particular conclave. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable thoughts. It is now my distinct honor to invite Professor Dr. Meenal Parikh, Dean of Media Communication, Fine Arts and Design and Drama, and the President of the 4th Media Conclave, a visionary academic and an inspiring leader. Professor Parikh has been the driving spirit behind this conclave, nurturing it into the flagship event of our department. With her guidance, this platform has become a confluence of creativity, critical inquiry, and meaningful dialogue. May I now request Professor Dr. Parikh to grace the stage and share her kind words with us. Ma'am. Come on, students, what happened? It's just the AM right now.
So very good morning. I don't know whether it's morning or afternoon now. Thank you for all dignitaries for having this patience. I know taking time from them is a big task, and that I've managed to. So I'm really grateful to everyone who's present, all the dignitaries and Vice Chancellor Sir, Pro Chancellor Sir, and all the other dignitaries who've come down today, along with students and faculty members. I would not speak much because there are bigger faces and bigger personalities here. I would just say this is the 4th year. And 5th year, we are trying to make it an international conference. So need your blessings, need support from everyone who's sitting in the first row. Please support us. You've been supporting us. And very humbly, I would say that Sister Nivedita University has nurtured me since I was in industry for more than a decade, and I decided to come into academics with a little stint in another university, but actually I would say that Sister Nivedita University has shaped me as an academician by every opportunity that I wanted. I never heard no. And for that, I would just, my heartfelt gratitude to everyone. VC sir. So whenever I go with something, I am never said no. And that has made me very confident. So the confidence that you see today is because of that. So I'm very, very grateful to my team at SNU who has given me this confidence. Thank you so much for coming today. And that is all from my end. We'll be seeing each other for next 3 days. Let me just inform that we got 150 paper applications and submissions, and we could finalize 102 eventually. So this time we've crossed century, and I'm very happy. And next year, if it's international, we would want to go globally. And there I would need a lot of support because it takes almost a year time to organize everything. And next year, of course, will be infrastructure-wise, we'll be having more wings. So I'm expecting that it'll be more grand. And thank you so much from my end. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Um, One personal note from my end is the confidence she's talking about that VC sir often gives to most of us, all of us, she herself doesn't gatekeep it. She empowers everybody. Right now, everybody, students, teachers, everybody who is sitting here, she doesn't gatekeep anything. She tries to empower the entire institution, and that's why for VC sir and for Meenal ma'am and for everybody in the management, we are able to bring up this entire 4th edition of Media Conclave. Can I have a round of applause for us, please? Thank you. Thank you. Moving forward, I now have the pleasure of inviting to the stage Mr. Orindam Basu, the convener of the 4th Media Conclave. His tireless efforts and meticulous planning have been the backbone of this event, ensuring that every detail reflects the spirit and vision of this conclave. May I request Mr. Basu to come forward and lead us into the official inauguration of this year's conclave, please. Thank you. The backbone is here.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all. On behalf of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome the distinguished dignitaries who are sitting here, the research scholars, the teachers, the academicians, the professionals, and mostly my dear students. This conclave is for you all, and if you can use this conclave to further your career, it would be the real success of the conclave. The theme for this year is representing the unseen, India at the margins and media. Everyone has talked about it. I will not go into the details of the theme. I will just say that there are two kinds of untouchables in India. One that we dare not touch, and the other we refuse to touch. So we are dealing with the ones we refuse to touch. So that sums up the theme of the conference. And this conclave, I'm hopeful, will provide space to question, to reflect, and to reimagine. I would like to add a couple of things. This time we have International Association for Media and Communication Research, Gender and Communication Section as our partner, as we do have International Communication Association of our partner. This partnership also reflects the confidence of global bodies in supporting a platform that is steadily growing in stature despite its recent beginnings. And as Minal rightly said, that it is these kind of associations that embolden us to make it international next year. I thank you all for joining today, but before I end, there is a very important work that I need to do. The president, Minal, she's the wind beneath our wings, Without her, we can't do anything. But there is also a team that is working tirelessly for this conclave, and it's not only me. So I would like to request the assistant convener, Shoikat Mujumdar, to please come up on stage. Treasurer, Shovik Shur, publicity committee, Santosh Kopi Setti, sir, our sponsorship committee, Jhumur, please come. Then the organizing committee, Prerona, please come. Jonaki, please come. Jonaki, please come. Now the tech team, without whom nothing would have been possible. Namashish, please, can you come up on stage? Please, Nama. Udit, Namashish, please come up on stage. Shotyajit, please come up on stage. One minute. And finally, Minal, once again for a group photo. Please, 1 minute. Please. Please. So this is the team that makes the whole thing work. Thank you so much. With that, I hand it over to Tulika. Tulika, please.
every time somebody comes up, I have to fix my mic. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Few journeys embody courage, vision, and leadership as powerfully as that of Dr. Mamta Rani Agarwal. From breaking barriers as one of the first lady pilot officers in Indian Air Force to shaping the future of higher education in India, her story is both inspiring and transformative. Currently serving as Additional Secretary of the Association of Indian Universities, Dr. Agarwal has held distinguished positions as advisor at AICTE, Joint Secretary at UGC, and Director of Education, New Delhi. A commanding orator and global voice, she has represented India at world forums, including the UNESCO World Higher Education Summit and Columbia University, among many others. She has been the architect of pioneering initiatives such as National Teachers Awards for Higher Education, and under her leadership, the ATAL Academy earned national acclaim for its contribution to faculty development. Today, she continues to influence academic policy and governance, serving on several boards of governance, including NIPER Kolkata as nominee of Honorable President of India. We will shortly play a video for her, after which I would like to invite our respected Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Dr. Shonku Bose, to felicitate her and honor her. If we could please have the video, please.
I'm Dr. Mamta Rani Agarwal, Advisor 1 at All India Council for Technical Education. That's a national level apex regulatory body for regulating the technical education in India.
Can I have a round of applause for her, please? She is the inspiration of today, the woman of today. Can you see? Sir, if you could please come and felicitate Madam. We have the honor, Madam. Little token from us. It's a small token, but token of significance from our VC sir's end. Madam, if you could come and share a few words. Yeah, sure. We have Dr. Mamta Rani Agarwal for us on stage, Women of Today.
Good morning. भाई जवाब दो बच्चों. Good morning. Sri Satyam Rai Chaudhary, Honorable Chancellor, Sister Nivedita University, very distinguished Vice Chancellor, my very, very distinguished colleagues, KG Suresh ji, Dr. Tripathi, and so many others, all the dignitaries that are sitting in the first row, and above all, my very, very lovely students, the star and darling of today, Meenal ji and Mr. Bose, who really made two very, very powerful lines. I can see him right there. that, two types of people. We dare not touch and we refuse to touch. But I think today, at least in the conclave, we should try to touch both of them. And we should try to make our students so inspiring, so motivated that they want to touch both of them. It is my honor, it is my privilege to stand before all of you at Sister Nivedita University for 4th National Media Conclave for this inaugural session. I congratulate the department for curating this important dialogue on a very prominent theme, representing the unseen, India at the margins and media. The theme is absolutely significant, but why is it so vital? Because invisibility is not just the absence of sight, it is the absence of voice, the absence of recognition, and often, very, very often, as the Pro-Chancellor Sir was saying, the absence of justice. In a fast-moving, image-saturated world, communities struggle. And even acts of resilience remain outside the frame, much often outside the lens. They are unseen, not because they lack stories, but because we have yet not learned to listen, amplify, and represent them fairly. Here lies the power and responsibility of media beyond headlines and sound bites. The media has the ability to bring the margins to the center, to make visible what society chooses to ignore, and to awaken public consciousness. I really want to confess something. Media is not my domain, it's not my topic. So when I was asked to deliver this inaugural address, I was wondering what to speak on. Because the kind of depth this particular room and media personalities have, I definitely don't have. So as any sensible mother would do, I spoke to my 21-year-old son who lives and breathes media and said, explain your generation to me. Because primarily I want to talk to students, to our future journalists who will bring everything to the center. That is the utopian world I really dream of. He did not give me a thesis. My son did not give me a thesis. He gave me a mirror. We are smart, very smart. But we are also very vulnerable. We are direct and outspoken. We feel strongly. We are real go-getter. And a word of caution, a line. Just don't talk about us. Talk to us. And I think this was the most powerful one. And around the same time, in fact, like some of the movies, you have Metro or Metro Indino, where there are 3 different stories or 4 different stories, and then finally they try to weave it together. I shall also try to weave few disconnect initially may look like to weave together. I heard Sam Altman telling Nikhil Kamath on a podcast that this is the most exciting time in the history to start a career. In a vibrant, rapidly changing world, the tools, the resources available to a 20-something today are absolutely unprecedented. That line struck with me because it is not about technologies. It's about the opportunities. It is about the platforms. It is about the lenses that are available to us. A Viksit Bharat and everything, whatever we do, is finally for making lives better and making a nation better. And the envisionment that our Honorable PM has given us, that is Viksit Bharat, it is much more than a $5 trillion or maybe a multi-trillion dollar economy or a skyline of shining towers. It is a society where dignity, equity, and opportunity touch every life, rural and urban, women and men, persons with disabilities, LGBTQIA plus communities, linguistic minorities, migrants, tribals, the elderly, the young. A developed India is an inclusive India, an equitable Bharat. This year's conclave, representing the unseen India at margins and media, is a necessary challenge. Whom do we render visible? Who gets the frame, the narrative? who really, really gets to frame the narrative. Media is the imagination engine of our country, our developing nation. It tells us who counts, whom we can touch, whom we refuse to touch, who belongs, and what is possible. When our films, newsrooms, streamline platforms, campus publications, and creator ecosystems widen the frame, society follows. And just, all of a sudden, I'm reminding of a very beautiful movie, Rang De Basanti, a film about friendship that grows into citizenship, about ordinary students who do something absolutely extraordinary. It captures something timeless about Indian youth, and right now I'm talking to each one of you. When you give them something worth believing in, they don't ask, why me? They don't ask, why me? They ask, if not me, then who? And each one of you need to ask, if not me, then who? I shall not focus on problems because it is clear, it is imperative, it is written on the board, and each one of know. Rather, let me try to do something. Can we think of some big ideas rooted in one simple truth? The essential human conditions are love, trust, create. Love is how we include everybody. Creation is how we build, and when we pair them together, we get value added, growth shared, development is holistic, agency is respected, and the magic of compounded effort over time. So what all we can do? Anyone, I'm sure you have written a lot in your research papers, but some ideas as somebody who is not from media, but has been working for a long time in the governmental policy. From tokenism to true representation. Representation is not a checkbox. It is an editorial stance. Ask any young viewer. They can spot tokenism from a mile away. So let us make few shifts from adding a face, adding any face, known face to get the TRPs, to share the mic. Don't merely cast diverse characters, hire diverse writers, producers, editors, anchors, showrunners, and crew. If you are a student leader, set a simple rule for your campus magazine or podcast. Every editorial board, every panel, every byline list should ask, who is missing from the table? So what you should be asking next time? Anybody? Everybody is sleeping or listening? I'm asking the students. So what was the question? So every time you have a podcast, every time you make a story, every time you make a headline, you are in newsroom, you are at the editorial board, what question should you be asking? Who is missing from the table? Okay? From stereotypes to storylines, we need layered protagonists beyond trauma narratives, characters beyond caricatures, northeastern voices beyond exotic, women beyond strong women cliche, and persons with disabilities beyond inspirational characters. Real people are complex, our story should be. If real people are complex, our story should also be layered and complex, meaningful, touching, thought-provoking, and complex. From language hierarchy to language equality, India thinks, jokes, dreams, prays, and communicates in hundreds of languages, in hundreds of tongues. The more our content honors this polyphony, the wider the door we open to participate and pride. Campus practices you can start tomorrow. And why tomorrow? Even today. Launch a 50-30-20 pledge. Aim for 50% women and gender diverse voices. 30% first generation and economically weaker sections. 20% regional languages, people who speak different dialect. First time contributors in your next season of content. It is not a law. It is a lighthouse. It is not just happening. It is by conscious design. From pity to parity, inclusion is not benevolence. It's not a charity. It is a basic responsibility. Captions, transcripts, audio transcriptions, alt text, sign language, windows, these are not features for some. They are upgrades for all. Each one in the last corner, sitting in the last line. Everyone who is not getting included in the main media. Night shoots, field reporting, travel logistics, build policies that account for gendered safety, caregiving responsibilities and health, pay interns, credit contributors, and share royalties wherever it is due. Believe me, dignity scales when recognition scales. We always feel so much more empowered, so much more dignified when we are recognized for the work that we have done. Remember the disability movement rallying cry, nothing about us without us. So nothing about us without us. Make it is your newsroom, your studio, your editorial board's guiding principle. So nothing about them if you are trying to talk about them, actually which is without them. From extractive attention to constructive attention. It is media's fundamental responsibility and ethical responsibility to build the right narrative, to construct the right narrative. Just think about it. Any scam, anything going wrong, any flood, any situation, any war, how do we know? How does a common person know? Only and only through the lenses of media. Only through your voices when you speak on mic. Only through your podcast. Only through your storytelling. Long form that is deeply sourced, documentaries that linger, podcasts that listen, films that touch. Not just click and watch time, track, time well spent. Did our story inform? Did our story empathize? Did our story sensitize? Did our story mobilize? Build bridges, not bunkers. Polarization is much easier. Consolidation is much, much easier content. Reconciliation needs courage. So rather be courageous than actually going the easy path down. A practical newsroom habit, any kind, whether it is print media, it is any kind of media, before publishing, before going through, run the 4 questions. Who is missing? Who is missing? Who could be harmed? Who benefits by my podcast? What evidence will show which will make things better for a better community, for a better society, and finally, for a better nation? Universities like Sister Nivedita University, these are not just campuses. These are not brick and mortar. They are test beds for future. If you are a student, teach one. Here are 3 projects you can pilot even within a semester. The 100 challenge, 100 stories, 100 days, from 100 communities across districts, dialects, disciplines, partner journalism with innovation, with design, law, public health, engineering, disabled, and whatnot, and so on and so forth. Diversity is not just about who speaks. It is about what kind of knowledge we bring on table. What kind of narrative are we building? Is it the right narrative? Is it the moral narrative? Is it the correct narrative? And whom is, again, the same 4 questions. Who is missing? Who could be harmed? Who benefits? What evidences will show that will make things better? A peer-led program where students audit their own media diets, map their own stereotype leaks, and redesign storyboards and inclusion guardrails. Treat biases like a bug. All the biases to be treated as bug and ship a patch. Read against your own algorithms. Follow people you absolutely disagree with. Talk to people you just do not like. Listen to diverse voices. Curate across regions and languages. Empathy grows at the edge of our feeds. Empathy grows at the edge of our disliking, where we just don't like the person and does not want to listen to the narrative. Build with others, build with each other. Seek collaborators, older and younger, urban and rural, STEM and humanities, mainstream and margins. Innovation loves absolutely unliking and unlikely moments. The moment we are in, let us return where I began, the three things. The opportunities available to you, and when you are given the opportunity, what you can do. And finally, how all of us sitting in this room and the privileged one as sitting dignitaries on the first row can make a difference. Your generation can shoot, edit, publish, analyze, and mobilize from supercomputer in your pocket. And that supercomputer is your smartphone. This is an electrifying career dawn, but power comes with responsibility. Who said it? Spider-Man. Someone is awake. All right. Use tools to widen the circle, not merely to grow the channel. If we want to build a Viksit Bharat, if we really want a Viksit Bharat, we must build an included Bharat. We must build an absolutely equitable Bharat when cameras are on and when cameras are off, on paper and on policy, on a screen and on streets. And then the question is, why not you? And if not you, then who? So I will end with a refrain that has lifted many of us through doubts. The speaker, Jim Rohn, whose words I have adapted for today, poses a simple challenge. Why not you? You have got the brains. You can make decisions. You can study the plan. You can change the lives. In the next few years, you will all grow immensely. You are the future stars. You are the budding journalist. Anybody you talk about, from Veer Sangvi to Barkhadat or Kalki or anybody, tomorrow we all will be watching you. So make your dreams come true, but make them come true by doing the right work, by doing the moral work, by doing the correct work. You can build a wall around your family, around your community, around your nation to make it inclusive, to make it holistic, to make it equitable. You can become anybody you want to be. So why not you? I'm here to pledge support, to amplify your work, to open doors wherever I can, and to learn from you. Each one of you, I must. So 3 steps. Tonight, text one person outside your usual circle and ask what story they want to be told, which actually nobody covered because nobody was interested. Refused to listen or refused to touch. This week, pitch one piece that replaces a stereotype with a human being. This semester, start one project that someone unlikely to lead, someone unlikely to sponsor, someone unlikely to support. Your generation is smart and vulnerable, candid and courageous, deeply feeling and deeply doing. You are the bridge from imagination to institution. And I am sure all of us together can build a Viksit Bharat, an inclusive Bharat, an equitable Bharat, which is for all, one and all. And just to conclude with Khalil Gibran's word, self is a sea, boundless and measureless. Each one of you sitting there is a sea, boundless and measureless. So rise, go, create, include. If not you, then who? When the youth learn to care with vision, when the youth learn to care with vision, create with courage, and include with compassion, the media becomes the canvas on which a Viksit Bharat is painted. Each one of you go and paint a beautiful picture, a beautiful scenery of an equitable and inclusive a Bharat where everyone is celebrated and every diversity is truly, truly celebrated. I, as a first generation learner, is an example of what education can do. And so is it for each one of you. Thank you so very much for inviting me here, Sister Nivedita University. Truly honored. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
That was a mobilizing speech, ma'am. Mobilizing. And when we say it, woman of substance, woman of beauty and substance, I would say over here. Thank you so much for moving us from our chairs and making us think twice about what are we doing in life. Next, it is our honor to felicitate a distinguished media visionary and educationist, Professor Dr. K.G. Suresh. He currently serves as director of the India Habitat Center and has previously held esteemed positions as Vice Chancellor of Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University and Director General of the Indian Institute of Mass Communication. Professor Suresh's remarkable contributions span academia, journalism, and media leadership, shaping generations of media professionals and policy thinkers. His insights and guidance continue to inspire, innovate, and strive us for excellence. We will play a short video in his honor, after which I would like to invite our respected Pro-Chancellor, Professor Dr. Dhrubajyoti Chattopadhyay, to felicitate with pride and honor Dr. K.G. Suresh. Can we please have the video, please? A very, very inspiring video. If we could please have Dhrubajyoti sir, our Pro-Chancellor, so that we could felicitate Mr. K.G. Suresh, an inspiration within himself, within us. The pioneers of media is sitting within us. It almost surprises us. Every person who has made it big is often so humble. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, if we could please have you on stage. Okay, sure. A media visionary, Dr. K.G. Suresh, on stage for us. Can I have a round of applause, please? Are you sleeping? Sir, stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Respected Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Chattopadhyay, the chief guest of the day, Dr. Mamta Rani Agarwal ji, my friend and younger brother, Professor Durgesh Tripathi, Professor Mr. Rishiraj Singh, a senior police officer who was, who is present here today, Professor Shabina Omar, and I also see my other friends, including my former colleague at Doordarshan, Snehashi Sur, and of course in Delhi, our dear Dada, Jayanto Ghoshal, and from the department, my dear friend, and somebody who has established in an era when almost every university has a media department. I must give full credit to Professor Meenal Parikh for establishing the presence of Sister Nivedita University at the national level. I mean, in fact, this National Media Conclave over the years is becoming a must attend for media educators. And she is turning it into a kumbh, a mahakumbh of media educators. My congratulations to her and also all her colleagues, particularly Arindam. Almost over 25 years, I contributed a chapter on reporting religion to a book edited by Arindam. Arindam still. And so this is, and always a pleasure. This is my second visit to SNU, and I actually look forward to it. And of course, coming to Kolkata is always a lot of memories. This is my Nanihal. My grandfather was Professor of Fine Arts at Rabindra Bharati University, and my Nanihal was 5 Dwarkanath Tagore Lane, where I used to come almost every summer vacation as a child. So, coming back to Kolkata is, of course, the new Kolkata or the new town where you have put me up doesn't resemble the Kolkata that I remember. I felt that I'm in a different city. Always a pleasure. Now coming back to this, everybody is talking about digitization, everybody is talking about, a lot of stuff, but nobody is talking about this very important issue, but you are not here to turn people into technocrats, you are here to groom people into journalists. And for that you need content. And this is what content is all about, representing the unseen India at the margins and media. I am not saying that the media does not look at the unseen. In fact, for the last few years, I am on the jury of the prestigious Ramnath Goenka Awards. And I can tell you that almost every year we have a segment called Invisible India, in which we look at stories where journalists from all over the country, and I must say a lot of good journalism is happening in the Indian languages, not in the so-called mainstream, not in the so-called national newspapers. I don't agree with this concept of a national newspaper. They are all local newspapers. A Delhi newspaper, just because it is published from Delhi, doesn't become a national newspaper. Because for them, the waterlogging in Gurugram is more important than the floods in Assam or Bihar. So obviously, you see, it's a local paper. I don't think it's a national paper. So there is nothing called national paper. We are in the era of local and hyper-local. Friends, 2 things, because I have got a detailed presentation post-lunch, so I don't want to take much of your technology. Ownership patterns, there used to be a time, I was the Vice Chancellor of a university named after somebody by the name Pandit Makhanlal Chaturvedi. Somebody who, from his own pocket, he used to run the newspaper. Our freedom fighters, most of them had their own, establishment. There was no corporate ownership. In fact, Mahatma Gandhi refused to accept any advertisement for his newspapers. That was the kind of journalism that we had practiced pre-independence. But then over the years, from a mission, it became, as they say, from mission to commission. And from commission, it has become business, pure business. Now, in this age of business, what does it mean? Bringing out a newspaper means, or a television channel, the objective is TRP, circulation. So the IRS and NRS figures are important. The BARC ratings are important. Now, in that, what are you looking for? You are looking for target audience. You are looking for example, do you know that a newspaper, production cost of a newspaper is not less than 30 to 40 rupees? Not less than 30 to 40 rupees to produce a decent newspaper. And the cost you pay is 4 or 5 rupees. So somebody else is paying 25 rupees, somebody else is paying 35 rupees. Who is paying this 35 rupees? Who is paying this 25 rupees? And if somebody is paying 35 rupees, then the newspaper is going to carry his or her voice, not your voice, because you are only paying 5 rupees. Remember that. So it is the big business, the big advertisers, the big corporates who are putting in money. And obviously the media will talk about, them only, not about the people who are going to pay 5 rupees. But then we are talking about people who are not even paying the 5 rupees. And that is representing the unseen. How do they matter? To a newspaper in Delhi, what is happening? P. Sainath had famously said in Everyone Loves a Good Drought, he had famously said that, there were only a handful of journalists, senior journalists, accredited journalists who went to cover the drought in Vidarbha. But hundreds of accredited journalists turned up to cover the Lakme India Fashion Week. So what are our priorities? So we are only catering to our target audience. My audience in Delhi itself, if you look at it, you have anything happening in any part of South Delhi is a 4-column news. But anything happening in the slum area is dismissed in the city briefs. Why? Because the person staying in the Jhugi Jhopadi cluster is not reading your newspaper. To the people who are reading your newspaper. So that is one thing that you should remember when we talk about this. So these are economic factors to end. And that's that second critical factor, that's technology. Now technology has led to what is called democratization of content. Back to community media. In Australia, there is a very rich culture of community media, community newspapers. We also experimented with community radios. Community radio, we were supposed to, in 2002, as per the policy of the government, we were supposed to set up about 4,000 community radio stations within 20 years. But unfortunately, we have only 400 functional community radio stations. There are some of them, like Radio Mewat and some other radio stations, which are doing a wonderful job. There are exceptions. But other than that, community radios have not come up. Yes, the Honorable Pro VC referred to Khabar Lahariya. There are some, like Nilesh Mishra has his, on the village newspaper that he has started, the rural newspaper that he has started. So there are some platforms which are there. But then we have Shubhranshu Chaudhary, who has that Bluetooth CG Swara net, Chhattisgarh Swara net. So there are some experiments which are happening, but they are few and far between. That's not sufficient to talk about them. So it is important that you as the younger generation should harness the power of social media to tell these stories, representing the unseen, India at the margins and media. That is the only hope. I honestly don't have hope from the so-called mainstream media because their business models are different. And in that, the unseen India, the disadvantaged India, the backward India, which is now called the aspirational India, just does not figure. So the hope is in digital media, and the hope is in the younger generation. I'm confident that, this conference will throw up a lot of deliberations over the next 3 days in which, some genuine call for action, apart from presentation of papers, which becomes a very routine academic exercise. Some call for action is also, and some actionable decisions are also taken, and the actual stakeholders are also made part of this journey so that we are able to make a little difference, if not a big difference. Thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to my session. And congratulations, SNU, once again for making this an event worth attending. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. This is how it feels when experience speak. How is it? How do you feel right now? Are you sleeping? No? No. No. How would I believe it's no? No. Yes? Can I see your hands? Both. Yes. Thank you. This conclave also partners with Cyber Peace, which highlights the growing importance of digital safety and cyber ethics in media practice. And Grooving Kolkata, which adds a creative dimension to the conclave by integrating culture and youth-driven culinary expression into its fold. Pantaloons added a selfie booth to keep the Gen Z trends in place. Together, these partners underscore the conclave's forward-looking vision. Adding to the academic weight of this year's conclave are two internationally renowned education partners, the International Association for Media and Communication Research, IAMCR, Gender and Communication Wing, and the International Communication Association, ICA. Their involvement situates the conclave within a global framework of critical media scholarship, ensuring that discussions resonate beyond India. Powered by Grooving Kolkata, and our official sponsors for the event is Shoppers Stop, Pujor Pratham Stop. Thank you so much. As we know, we have shopped so much from Shoppers Stop, and we are yet to go again because Pujo is just 10 days away. Thank you so much, Shoppers Stop. Thank you so much. Everybody, every sponsor, every partner who has made this event possible. Thank you. As we move ahead, it is with honor that we are going to felicitate Mr. Raj Singh, IPS of the 1985 Kerala cadre, a distinguished officer whose career has been defined by integrity, courage, and transformative leadership. From serving as Police Commissioner of Cochin and Calicut to his tenure as DIG in the SPG and Joint Director of the CBI, where he played a pivotal role in uncovering the Adarsh scam, Mr. Singh has consistently demonstrated exceptional dedication. His remarkable initiatives as Transport Commissioner of Kerala led to a 30% reduction in traffic accidents, saving countless lives, and he retired as DGP Prisons, having also served as Excise Commissioner. He is a recipient of the Police Medal for Meritorious Service and the Police Medal for Distinguished Service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Raj Singh to the stage for the felicitation. We're going to play a short video for you, sir, in honor of you, after which I'm going to invite our Registrar, sir, Mr. Shumanto Basu, for the felicitation. If we can please have the video. Welcome, sir.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and other respected guests in this hall. I am Rishiraj Singh and 1985 batch and the batchmate of one very famous personality in Kolkata, that is Suljit Kaur Purkaisto, the ex-DGP of West Bengal. He is my batchmate. I am born and brought up though in Rajasthan, Bikaner, but since last 40 years I have been in Kerala. As Kerala was my allotted cadre, I have now after retirement decided to settle at Trivandrum. My basic work is working against the menace of drugs, which is highly prevalent among the students. For that, I nearly visit a school every day. In the last 6 and 7 years, by doing so, I have visited already 4,500 schools and colleges. Kerala, as you know, like any other state of India, having a serious problem of drug prevalence among students. Now, about this is a great event. I will like to speak just for 5 minutes, as also like Mrs. Suresh, I have a session afterwards, lunch. Now, if you see the definition of media, there are three main important things are included. The one is film, TV, and newspaper. Now, a lot of people spoke here that what should be reported in newspapers, what should be shown in the film, etc. But I have my different views. I am having a feeling that today's generation is neither watching realistic films, nor reading newspapers, and hardly watching TV. Everybody is onto their mobile phone. Everything is reduced into their phone, whether it is TV watching, news watching, film watching, you name anything. Now, the basic sources of information are something where the people are not going. Take, for example, films. The other day I was watching a news. I read a lot of newspapers, and I saw the Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal issued an order that at least one Bengali film should be shown every day in 365 cinema halls in Bengal. Just imagine how bad a situation is, where the Chief Minister is requesting Bengali people to see a Bengali film. And this is not the first time. This experiment was also conducted in Maharashtra also, where nobody was watching, the Marathis were not watching Marathi films, so the government had to issue the order. But let me tell you, this will not succeed. You may take the horse to the well, but you cannot compel the horse to drink the water. I am afraid the same thing may happen here also. Because the real problem is, in spite of the government order that a film should be shown at the important time, the people do not want to see the Bengali film. People do not want to see the Marathi film. That is the basic problem we have to touch. We don't want to see the realistic films which are made of the stories which are happening around us. Anuparna Roy, leave everything else. Anuparna Roy has made a film. Can anybody can tell even at least now what is her film's name? She is from this place. She worked as a call center to just arrange some money to make that film, as it was her passion. And since she didn't find any of the cinema hall in India, she had to take it outside India, in France, and she has won the award. I'm asking, it is an old news now. It happened around 2 weeks ago. So this is the level, that is the songs of the forgotten trees. She has won a very important award. Now, this is the concern which we have, the films, realistic pictures all around us. I at least grew up, since I like films, I at least grew up seeing the films of Mrs. Satyajit Roy, Mrinan Sen, Rituparna Ghosh, Shakti Samanta, Aparna Sen, and the most importantly, Bimal Roy. Now, nowadays, I am told that that the regional Bengali films and even Marathi films are on the verge of being shut down. So my request to the media team is to come forward and do something where the people should start at least seeing the films, their own films. Second is TV news. Second is television. Now be honest and accept that 40% people who were watching TV 10 years ago they are not watching it anymore. Even a 6-month-old kid in my house, I see, he or she is watching a mobile phone. They also don't watch TV anymore. So what should be shown in TV is a different matter. First, you have to do something where the people should start seeing TV at least. For that, you have to bring back the quality of the shows on the TV and at least the news presentation. I have stopped now watching news on TV. They are all shouting, number one. I don't understand why the TV anchors have raised the pitch of their voice. Do you remember Salma Sultan, Meenu Talwar, Raini Simon? Those were the ladies, they used to speak important news with their tone and their pitch very, very low. Here, the moment you start any Hindi news channel or any English news channel, everybody is shouting right at the top of their throat. Then the level of, and the news is false. I come from Bikaner. Bikaner has a boundary with Pakistan of 166 kilometers. I will give only one example. That how false. We all saw, whatever we saw on TV about the war was all false. Imaginative. Far from truth. Now, we had a 4 days war. 7th night May onwards, 10th of May. Bikaner was closed. No media person could go inside. Nobody can go outside. It was an emergency. Sirens were blowing out. Now my question here is, at that time I was in Trivandrum and I used to see some anchor in Asianet News there that अभी खबर आ रही है बीकानेर की तरफ 4 विमान उड़े, बीकानेर से 4 विमान पाकिस्तान की तरफ उड़े. It was rubbish. Because there is no media person is allowed to enter in Bikaner, and army, of course, will not give any information. People were imaginative. TV news has become false and very, very highly noise-making. We have to do something about it. And then the quality of the shows. Bharat Ek Khoj, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bunyad, Hum Log, you see those, even in COVID time, I resaw all these shows. Do you remember any of the show coming of today coming anywhere near to this, the quality of this, the high quality of these shows? TV people have to do something about it. And the third is newspaper. I was just reading that 20% people have reduced the habit of the even going through the newspaper. Honestly, tell me, has anybody read today's newspaper here? Please, honestly. Including the editorial today. I read Times of India. Newspapers are not available. I went to America. In America, newspaper as print has been stopped. I asked at airport. I asked at the bookshop. I asked at the restaurant. I asked in the hotel where I was staying. They say no. If you want to read a newspaper, Americans are very impolite also, let me tell you. So why don't you see your the mobile phone? All the news is available on the phone. We don't print newspaper anymore. The same situation is going to India. Let me tell you. In Kerala, a newspaper, since I am a newspaper person, I get 3 newspapers at my home for the sake of it. I read them. A newspaper which used to be 3 rupees, now it is 9 rupees. And then they say, I talk to a lot of journalists are my friends, they say, sir, it is now the people have stopped newspaper. Half of have been stopped. They are now into digital news printing. And those who are printing, they say we are printing because of the donation which we get from the rich people. So first, as a media conference, we should, I appeal to the people who are associated with this conclave that let us do something where the people go back to the films, they go back to the TV watching, and they start reading newspapers again. This is because being a film person, I go and see the pictures only in cinema hall. And in cinema hall, in Trivandrum, they are showing Japanese films, they are showing Korean films. In TV, we are seeing Korean dramas. Why we cannot show a Bengali film? I am trying to see a Bengali film, I am told, Bhuton the Bhavishyat. There is a film? I am not able to see it. Because as a principle, I don't want to see it on OTT. I want to see it in cinema hall. And no one bothers about it. True, now the old films are being shown again. I just saw Godfather 1972. I hope that the films, the charm of the films will come back and we will see. And at least the producer, even Mr. Satyajit Roy, I have read his biography, even he never had sufficient money to make films. But out of passion, he kept making. Pather Panchali, I may be having a different pronunciation. It was shown in Karlovy Vary. Nobody wanted to see it in India. Adur Gopalkrishnan makes films even now. I know, I live there. No one goes to the films and sees his films. Now this, because we do not want to see the realistic pictures. Unless we start seeing them, this media, the important aspect of the media, we will be failing in our duties if we could not bring back the spectators to the films, the readers to the newspapers, and people who used to see the TV as a main source of entertainment. We have to do something about it. Thank you very much.
Again, I'm fixing my mic. Journalists report history. A rare few live it and help the nation make sense of it as it unfolds. Veteran journalist Jayanto Ghoshal is one of them. After a distinguished 4-decade journey through the heart of Indian journalism, he now joins NDTV as consulting editor. Mr. Jayanto has seen Indian journalism evolve from hot metal typesetting to the digital age and shaped its course with his fearless reporting and unmatched political insights. From the narrow lanes of Howrah to the power corridors of Raisina Hills, he has been a witness to India's most defining political moments. He began his remarkable journey in 1984 with Bortoman, made his mark as the Delhi editor of Anandabajar Potrika for over 20 years, and then expanded his presence on national television with India TV and India Today. Along the way, he broke major stories, the Pokhran 2 tests, the resignation of Raghuram Rajan, and traveled the world with every Indian Prime Minister since Rajiv Gandhi. He has covered G7s and G20s, the UN General Assembly, 6 trips to Pakistan, and that unforgettable historic ride to Lahore with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Across formats, across languages, across platforms, Mr. Jayanto has remained rooted, reliable, and relentlessly curious. Equally at home in Bengali and English, Mr. Jayanto is also an acclaimed author and a passionate teacher. We all know that, right? He has been teaching us and mentoring us, mentoring young minds in media classrooms. Though Delhi has been his base, Bengal continues to be his emotional homeland, a dual identity that gives his journalism a rare perspective. We will play a short video, after which I would like to invite Professor Dr. Meenal Parikh to felicitate him. If we could please have the video. Beautiful, beautiful visuals. Now if we could have you on stage. Can you imagine? He's been to Lahore 6 times. Part of history. You're witnessing part of history over here. A little small token from Sister Nivedita University. Sir, if you could share a few words. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am grateful to SNU and respected august audience, Madam Mamta Rani Agarwal, and my old friend, now renowned pan-Indian person, Mr. KG Suresh, Rishi Rajji, and Madam Sabina Umar, Professor Durgesh Tripathi, and Snehashish. We are contemporary. We joined in this profession on the same day, actually. And Dr. Snehashish Shur, he is President Calcutta Press Club also. And Anindita Mishra, Senior Consultant Cyber Peace. And my beloved students, I will take just few minutes because I think we are now little tired also. And we have to go for lunch and we have to go for the, again, with new energy, new session. Just, I will mention one thing, that our discussion, the subject of discussion, it's a brilliant subject, margins. That means marginal people of this country. And our role of the media to connect with these marginal people, whether we are doing it or not, whether it is possible or not, that we will start the discussion for 3 days. And what KG, my friend, has said, I'm completely agree with his premises, his proposition. But if we accept his premises, then the next question, what is the relevance of this 3 days symposium? Because if we cannot address the marginal people for the 2 points he mentioned, that technology and the main thing is the media business, the ownership, then we the journalists also alienated from this system. And if it is a more corporatized, then how we will communicate to the marginal people? And you can tell us that there is no necessity to communicate the marginal people, because this Lakme, what KG said, this is more favorite destination than to the, for the, we are not the missionaries for the welfare state. So that welfareism and the market consumerist journalism is a dichotomy. It's very difficult to mix up. I think cultural diffusion is taking place. And the popular mistake we are doing, that we are thinking media means that print media, electronic media, digital media. Now, media is everything. Media is a social media is media. Even citizen media. I have found one grocery owner is covering election and giving in the YouTube channels, and there is no fact check team for that citizen journalism, and lot of distorted fake news also, especially in the election time. So I don't know, it's an anarchy. Now the only question is that what we will do now, our responsibility of the media to connect the margins. Even in the movies, when we are showing famine, so-called art movie. Now art movie is not art film is not a very relevant term. Once upon a time in our student days, it was a two divided by art film and the commercial film. But now it's a good film, bad film. But you know, when we are making a movie on famine or the poor people or the margins, like Ritik Ghatak, Mrinal Sen, Satyajit Ray also did, but that Cannes Festival is giving award to these movies, but the characters of the movie, the margins, are not watching the movie. And the middle class, upper middle class, and after 91, the expansion of middle class, 30 crore, 40 crore, and those middle class are also not margins. So who is margin? That is also another question. And it's a very relative term. So, lot of layers and confusions are there. I hope in this 3 days dialogue, we may reach to some sort of conclusion, some sort of middle path, so that we can fix up our do's and don'ts for the students, and we all may be benefited out of this conversation. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your valuable insights, sir. Now, we're moving ahead and talking about someone very significant. Dr. Durgesh Tripathi is a distinguished academician in India and serves as a professor and founding faculty of USMC and in charge of School of Film and academic coordinator of online program at SIP University. Recognized for his significant contributions to the field of digital media, youth, and online education, he holds the rare honor of having presented his insights at the esteemed House of Commons in the British Parliament, where he shared the stage with the editor of the prestigious New York Times. His commitment to the democratization of higher education is evident in his advocacy for open educational resources, OERs, and massive open online courses, MOOC. I'm going to invite Professor Arindam Basu to felicitate Professor Dr. Durgesh Tripathi after the video. Can I please have the video so that we can start the felicitation? Can you imagine the British Parliament standing up there and talking about education, advocacy for education? That is impeccable. Can we have a round of applause for him, please? Small token of appreciation for being with us today and sharing time. Time is everything. And everybody over here, they're sharing their time with us. We appreciate that, sir, and we understand the value of your time. Sir, if you could please share some words.
Thank you. Thank you for an excellent comparing by the very young scholar of this very prestigious university of West Bengal, Sister Nivedita University, Kolkata. I feel great honor to be the part of this very prestigious annual event of Sister Nivedita University as a media conclave. This time I can say that it's a very contemporary and very relevant issue that has already been covered by the previous speakers. It with the Pro-Chancellor Sir, Honorable Vice-Chancellor Sir, Institution Builder, Professor K.G. Suresh Sir, Women Education Leader of our country, Dr. Mamta Rani Ji, one of the best and prominent IPS officer, Mr. Risiraj Singh Ji, Jayant Ghoshal Dada, and we can see that Sneha Sis Sur Dada, Professor Sabina Madam, and many more that we have already gone through and received many of the important point observations that has already been made by the eminent speakers of this very prestigious media conclave of your university. As we have already gone through some of the key words related with the media conclave, like fear or a fearless, pre-independence and selective, opinion forming, ownership pattern, khabar lahariya, and many more hashtag. And I feel fortunate to say that I am the guide research supervisor of one of the PhD thesis. The topic is more related with this theme of this media conclave, is related with the opinion forming or political capital. And again, one of my PhD thesis guided by me is related with the khabar lahariya. So that I can say that I am very keen to observe and to understand the observations made by the eminent speakers of this conference. As per my understanding and observation on this particular or a pertinent issue, we have to understand in a three type or a three idea of this very contemporary topic. First of all, I would like to say and to throw some light on the journalism. Role of journalist in our country is related with the pre-independence era, where journalism was a mission. We have already learned, we have already read many of the books, opinions, understanding of the previous speakers like Gandhi ji, no advertisement, so many things related with the same. Again, post-independence era of our country or of our journalism in our country, and the contemporary trends in our contemporary society related with the 21st century, and the journalism and role of journalist in our country in 21st century. We have already listened and read and understand about the journalism and journalists are the fourth state of our society. Now we can say that it's a fourth state becomes a real estate kind of a idea in our society. That's why we have to think about and we have to act about. Again, we have already engaged with some of the generation and the education and the impact of digital education for various things, so that we can say that we are engaged with the equitable and inclusive society of our country. But before of that, we have to think about the generation Gen Z and Generation Alpha. As we know that in our contemporary society, we have already engaged with generation Gen Z and Generation Alpha, and I feel fortunate to say that in near future, digital media or alternative media can be the way forward to reach each and everything related with the inclusive society. And after that, we can say that we can be able to build our country as the capital of the knowledge economy of the world. मैं अगेन एक बात कहना चाहूँगा, जो हमारे जनरेशन जेन जी के और जनरेशन अल्फा के हमारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, कि don't dive and indulge with the sayara kind of a emotional thinking, emotional well-being. We have to focus and to awake and to arise and to walk till your objectives or a dream objectives can be fulfilled. Thank you so much. One thing I would like to say that we have a formal presentation. I think it has been already been scheduled for tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And I would like to request you all, please come and join us again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Students, did you hear that? Don't get swayed by the Sayara effect. Did you hear that or not? Yes? Or are you already swayed? Okay, we are going to move ahead. And I am going to present someone on stage who is a woman of essence and prominence. In today's world, and this is totally off script that I am speaking to you, because this is something that is coming out of my heart, that it takes a lot to be a woman in this society, and this is not something that you would say it's easy. We get jobs. Yes, we get jobs. But to be a woman and working and to have a family is 3 different responsibilities and 3 different KRAs altogether. Only a woman can understand that. And men can also understand that because they have wives, mothers, and their children working. So, next, it is our honor to felicitate Professor Shabina N. Omar, Head of the Department of English at Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose College. Professor Shabina Nishit Omar, an academician with over 25 years of experience, is a professor and head of English at Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose College, University of Calcutta, a former principal in charge of Milli Al-Amin College. She has taught at premier institutions, including St. Xavier's and Presidency College. A prolific speaker and author with international exposure through the US Department of State's Visitor Program. She actively contributes to national skilling and digital education initiatives. She also serves as honorary state president of WICCI, Higher Education Council, West Bengal, and is associated with several chambers of commerce. Recipient of the Global Educator Award, Professor Omar is committed to women's empowerment through education. Like I said, being a woman is not easy, and a woman has 3 KRAs running all the time like a ticking bomb. So she is standing tall in all the 3 KRAs as I spoke. We will have a short video after which our Professor Shoykot Mojumdar sir, I would invite him on stage to felicitate her. If we could please have the video. If we could please have Madam on stage so that we could felicitate her. Beautiful woman in a sari, always welcome, pleasing. Just paying our respects to Madam for sparing her time. It's the small little details. Thank you so much, sir. Ma'am, if you could please share a few words with us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Namaskar, Adab, and a very, very good afternoon. It is extremely challenging to be the speaker between lunch and the audience. It's very, very challenging. It's very, very difficult. So I promise not to stretch it for too long. The first question, why am I here? Neither am I a media person, nor am I a media scholar, nor am I in any capacity at all can I have the audacity to call myself a media stalwart in the midst of so many students, scholars, professionals, and stalwarts. Joyantoda and Snehashishta right in front of me. Respected Pro-Chancellor Sir, respected Honorable Vice-Chancellor Sir, members of the Department of Media Studies, Communication Studies, Sister Nivedita University, especially Meenal, respected national guests, policy makers, educationists, and administrators. It is a matter of immense honor and pleasure to be in your company and to speak here about a theme so very close to our hearts. To all our hearts as Indians, and especially to the hearts of women who, even in the most educated societies, are marginalized. So we know what it is to be the unheard voice. We know what it feels like to be on the margins. So I would just like to put my point across as an academician. Media studies is no longer relegated to a circumference. It has stepped its boundaries and entered as interdisciplinary academia into language, into science, into commerce, into gender studies. So when I sit with the Calcutta University syllabus, I have a, should I say, a skill enhancement paper called An Introduction to Communication and Media Studies, and this is what makes me a lifelong learner at conclaves like this. With great power comes great responsibility, and I have always believed that history and media are not subjects, they are perspectives. Perspectives of who tells the story from what angle. For those of you who know Urdu, or for those of you who appreciate Urdu, which is my mother tongue, there is a very famous saying about Mirza Ghalib. It is said, and I beg your attention, "Hai aur bhi duniya mein sakhanwar bahut achhe." There are many better narrators and troubadours in this world. Kehte hain ki Ghalib ka hai andaze bayan aur. The articulation of Ghalib is better than most of the best, is different, is unique. That is the power of media. What you represent is as important as how you represent it. So my humble submission to the scholars here, to the students in the room, to the policy makers and stalwarts and experts in this field is, we need to introspect. We need to move the periphery to the center, because in this globalized world, there is a continuous change of the margin becoming the center and the center becoming the margin, because we exist in a state of flux. We are continuously evolving. Let us, my friends, not evolve just physically, just socially, just economically, or just academically. Let us evolve together intellectually, because education now is a collaborative, constructivist activity. Let us take this collaboration, let us take this forward into assimilation, learning from each other, constructing with each other, co-learning with each other, navigating each other, to bring the unseen to visibility, to bring the margin to the center, and to highlight issues that are so very important and yet so very poorly represented. Together we can, together we will. Because a very famous lyric says, "Mile sur mera tumhara, to sur bane hamara." We need a unified voice, and for that we need a unified movement forward. Being a person passionately engaged with literature, allow me to conclude with some famous lines by Robert Frost, because the journey ahead is very difficult, but not impossible. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Let us carry those miles forward together. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. For a brief period, I just thought I was teleported 5 years back to my English classes. And I felt like I was a student where my professor was just speaking. I was happy, I had dreams, I have visions, and I have a world to conquer. And that's why professors are the best people and guides in the world, because nothing can compete a person who has dreams, vision, and the capability to teach it to you. Nobody else will, apart from your university teachers. Please, can I have a round of applause for all the teachers, academicians who work tirelessly for us and bring forward the best in us. Thank you so much. I would also like to again announce that our official sponsors for today's event is Shop Stop, Pujor Prothom Stop. Thank you for helping us build us a style guide for Kolkata's Durga Pujo. Thank you, Shop Stop. So, moving ahead, I am going to call forward and invite Dr. Snehashi Shur, who is a senior independent journalist and media academician, president of Press Club, Kolkata, and professor of practice, St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, and he retired from Doordarshan at the level of additional director general. Can I have the video, please, after which I would like to invite Mr. Shoikat Majumdar, Professor Media, so that we can felicitate Sir. Can we have the video, please? Thank you so much for the lovely video media team. If we could please have Dr. Snehashi Shur on stage and Professor Shoikat Majumdar from Media Department. Little honorarium. It's a little honor from our end. Looks like Sir is a fan. Oh, see? That is how the world evolves. Once you are here, second day you might be on the stage. Thank you so much for your time, sir. If you could please share a few thoughts.
Thank you very much. I'm going to address the students first and thank them for their patience. You can't help it. And by now, you have understood who are the mainstream and who are the marginalized. So, the distinction is clear. So, you need to, firstly, you need to know, to identify the marginalized. Sometimes the voice of the marginalized are also heard, and then you have to hear the voice. Respected Professor K.G. Suresh, Professor Durgesh Tripathi, Professor Sabina Umar, Madam Mishra, and my friend Jointo. Definitely, as my earlier speakers have also said, I'm not going to stand between the lunch and yourselves. But I would like to draw your kind attention to each and every one of you. Please, when you are studying journalism and when you are practicing, please ask one question to yourself. Where are people in my story? Where are people in my story? The stories you do for practicing, the stories you do for publication, transmission,
anything, try to find out where are the people in your story. If you remember this word from day one, when you join the profession or when you teach others journalism and mass communication, you can cultivate this idea, where are people in our stories? And if you continue to find out people in your stories, you will be successful in finding out the marginalized and placing their voice in the media you work. We have legacy media, which is also known as mainstream media. We also have alternative media, participatory media. You, the students of 2025, you have to find out that the legacy media is not only the answer. Everybody is a content producer. Why can't you pick up contents which speaks of marginalized? What holds you back from doing it and finding out? You see, if you go to the so-called legacy media, you will not find enough marginalized people in the newsroom as leaders. You will not find enough marginalized people as owners of media or the managers of media. Then obviously, when the coverage of the marginalized comes, it is the story of the marginalized told by people from the mainstream. So marginalized were never allowed to speak their own stories. You cover them, but you cannot have their stories. So when you have alternative media, when you have participatory media, try to think of if you can have such things when the marginalized speaks and you facilitates them to come in the mainstream in the digital media. Sir has rightly said that the digitization has democratized. So the technology has come. We have digital divide and the marginalized suffer from digital divide. But as a media student and media entrepreneur, if you can facilitate that, let marginalized people speak their own stories and you bring them to the mainstream and empower them to tell their own stories in the domain so that the mainstream can watch and see. This is the new world, and I believe you should think of doing it, because otherwise attending a conference on marginalized and unseen and going back and starting your own work as you have been doing will not solve any problem. You have to take it something. This SNU is famous for its stress on practical journalism, practical communication. So I call upon the students of media and communication of SNU to kindly go to the marginalized, record their voices, bring them into platforms, and empower them to tell their own stories. This would be a new experiment. Before I conclude, I must share that I am one of among a few who have been fortunate to have attended all 4 conclaves organized by SNU Media Department. And I look forward to attending the next year's one because it is going to be international, and it is already international because you have the collaboration of IMCR and ICA. These are the 2 major conglomerates of the media academicians. And I must congratulate the organizers for choosing this topic. Whereas everywhere these days we are picking up a topic which is concerned with digital or AI. Digital in media and AI in media. But you have chosen something which will go deep in our hearts and minds, because throughout your career, whichever profession you join, if you carry forward this experience of highlighting and commitment of giving space to the marginalized, creating space to the marginalized, giving time to the marginalized, then the success of this conclave will see a fruit of the day. If you carry back, and as an empowered communicator, you communicate on the marginalized and you empower them to communicate themselves. Let them speak their voice. Technology has enabled such. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Such is the power of a journalist. Did you see yourself just getting awoken? Did you get, where are you? Are you sleepy, still sleepy? No? I can't hear you. No, ma'am. I can't hear you again. Yes, good. So we are going to move ahead, and we are honored to felicitate Ms. Anindita Mishra, Senior Consultant at Cyber Peace Foundation and our esteemed partner, Cyber Peace Premier for our media conclave. She has been a driving force in advancing digital safety, empowering youth through initiatives like Cyber Peace Corps, E-Raksha, and Cyber Peace Clubs, and training first responders to tackle online threats. Through global collaborations, community outreach, and innovative programs, she has played a pivotal role in creating a safer, resilient, and inclusive cyberspace for citizens across India and beyond. We are going to play a short video, after which I'm going to invite our very own Professor Dr. Jhumur Dattagupta to honor Madam for her initiatives. We have a small picture for her. We could not get the video. We have the poster. If we could have Madam on stage. Yes, a round of applause, please. Jhumur, ma'am. Little tokens, yes, of appreciation. Madam, please, if you could share a few. You have a lovely picture on the portrait.
Should I take my specs off?
No, you look lovely. No, you look lovely.
Good afternoon. নমস্কার এসএনইউ পেছনে সবাই শুনতে পাচ্ছো হাত উঠিয়ে yes come on yes bro yes yeah right that's the spirit because I'm so thankful on behalf of Cyber Peace to be here. Cyber Peace Foundation is the brainchild and the vision and dream of Major Vineet Kumar, our founder and global president. And I wish he could be here because he's a wonderful person who speaks on technology with such commitment and love that you'd be listening to him spellbound. But I'll try to do my best. 2 minutes, and you can rush to your lunch. I am not going to speak in front of such luminaries in the field of journalism, mass communication, English, but I'm thankful to be given this opportunity. Budding journalists out there, all of you, I can tell you one thing, if ever you want a change of job, cybersecurity waits for you. It's a huge growing field, and you did not be a tech expert to join the field. Second, if you are going to be a mass comm and a journo, there are things you should remember. Digital ethics. Without that, you cannot be a true journalist. You'd only be mouthing what others said. Psychology of misinformation, wherein you need to know what your own biases and preconceived notions are, because with them, you are going to arrive at the very same conclusions your echo chamber and your bubble groups on social media had already arrived at. And the third, there are many verification tools in the age of deepfakes, fakes, scams, phishing, and all the other kinds of threats we have online. A lot of it is propagated by the media wrongly, inaccurately, by error, because today it is the age of breaking news. People stop verifying the source. So there are a lot of verification tools available, and you, Gen Z, they're young people who can bring about a change. We have the Cyber Peace Initiative sponsored by Google that we are taking to all colleges and schools wherein they learn, they get the Mythbuster training certification, and then they go ahead and train school, college, and adult groups on how to identify, call out, and be resilient against fakes. With that thought, I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much.
Women in tech, right? Women in tech. And in today's world, everybody should be independently secured, cyber secured. One should take individual responsibility for oneself. Nobody will save the other. Only I will save myself. And that's why cyber security is a must for everybody. It is a knowledge everybody must have. Right? Yes? Yes, correct. Having felicitated our esteemed guests, we now step into the core of today's gathering, the fourth media conclave of Sister Nivedita University. Yes, we are here. Over the next 3 days, this flagship event of our Department of Mass Communication and Journalism will explore the powerful theme representing the unseen, India at the margins and media. Let us begin this journey of ideas, dialogues, and stories that demand to be seen and heard. I'm going to leave the space for Professor Shoykot Mojumdar, Professor Media Science, for the vote of thanks. Thank you so much for being a very, very kind and patient audience. I'm going to look forward to speaking to you again. Thank you. Have a very good day ahead.
Thank you, Tulika. And good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, dignitaries. Good afternoon, my seniors. Good afternoon, my students. And I will not make it long because it is already, we are running late. But I suppose it was a very, very enriching session, and it was our privilege, not only for the students, but also for us, the organizers, to listen to the dignitaries who were present here and listen to all the nuances of the media today. Especially, I am thankful to KG Suresh sir. Suresh sir has said that it is becoming a Mahakumbh of media educators. I suppose for Suresh ji and for all of us, we need a big round of applause. I am not going to brief everything we have, what we have listened, what we have learned. If I want to brief that, it will be a longer session. I don't want to make it longer. But as I have said, we are very much thankful to our partners, IIMCR, International Communication Association, Grooving Kolkata, Cyber Peace, all our partner Shoppers Stops, and of course, we are thankful to our dignitaries who have, despite their very busy schedule, has consented to come and deliver their speech. I'm thankful to Suresh ji, I'm thankful to Durgesh Tripathi ji, I'm thankful to Sabina Amar ma'am, of course, our seniors, Jayanto da, Snehashish da, and of course, our cyber peace, without whom our program would have been incomplete. I'm thankful to all. We are looking forward to all the 3 days, which I think will be very engaging and enriching. This is the end of the first session. I would ask our dignitaries to, our volunteers and our colleagues will guide you to the VIP lounge for the lunch break. The students will also get the break, and then we will join for the next session. Thank you so much.
Acha, I have to do the unpleasant things. The participants for the next session, we are running late by half an hour. So instead of 2, we'll begin the next session at 2:30, and we will be absolutely on time, and we'll maintain that time. So 2:30 onwards, we'll have the next session. So we'll request our volunteers to kindly lead the dignitaries to the VIP lounge. And I request our participants to kindly bear with us for half an hour more, and we will begin the session promptly at 2:30. One other